Hey guys, I'm Rob, and welcome to another Vantage Point recap. This is a weekly look at what the stock market did last week, today, Monday, which is Monday, November 22nd, 2021, and then the rest of the week. We do have a short week, so watch out. Here's a little caution. Thanksgiving Day here in the US is Thursday. So that day we have no market, and we'll come back on briefly for Friday for closing. So if you're an options trader out there, normal expiries in most cases. However, it's going to be a little bit wonky, and there can tend to be some low volume on these kind of weird market weeks. So watch out for rapid turnarounds. We certainly saw that in the market so far today. About 10 minutes left in the market, and we'll recap that here in a second. But let's pick it up with a recap of what happened last week. So you can see on my screen here, this is off of last Friday's data. The market was in a weak bear cycle, and if we bring up the Dow Jones multi-decade chart, look at these weekly candles, and we had a big red candle last week. Pretty precipitous drop. Now, that's where it closed right around 35,600. The Dow Jones did gap up over the weekend, and it opened at 35,750. So a little bit above that. And for the most part of the day, it was looking like the Dow was going to finish up. However, here in these last several minutes, let me bring up a 10-minute chart for you on what's been happening. We have had a big sell-off. It's gone from 359 or 35,900 down to about 35,700. We're back below opening price. So the Dow Jones is currently looking like it's going to continue that red move. However, with that gap, it'll probably be a little bit slightly higher appearing on the new weekly candle that appears today. So that's the Dow Jones. It's only got 30 stocks in it. Let's look at a little bit bigger of a basket to study this overall market and what's been happening. If we look at the daily view, and there's 7,000 stocks plus here. The daily has been going down, so it's looking pretty red here. The weekly still have some green indicators. This is the Z band. You'll see it on a lot of my charts here with the Terrasoari software. It is a one-stop shop for indicators. It tells you when there's growth going on. So when it's stopping and going, that's not what you want to see. But it is still on as of Friday. On the weekly view, 7,000 stocks there. And then the top 2,500 stocks on a monthly longer-term time scale, this one is looking still pretty bullish. We'll see what happens after today, but despite the Dow Jones closing lower on last week, the top stocks, bigger basket, showed a little bit more growth, or at least continuing with that trend that we've seen pretty much since the bottom of the COVID dump. Okay, so what else is going on today? The other major indexes, I can bring those over. Let's check out the S&P 500. Very cyclical, up and then down, and then tried to get back up above 472. But here, the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF, we are currently bottoming out around that 468.50, the close from last week. So it's eaten back up most of the gap, or actually now all of the gap that it had over the weekend. Let's check the other major indexes. We touched on the Dow Jones. That's still chilling at 35,700. The Russell 2000 is near its low for the day, and we only have about 7 minutes left. And it's hitting that support line alpha right now. So 232 on the Russell. And again, cyclical. Q looked up. The NASDAQ 100 looked up, and then big time drop off there around midday, spiking and finding a bottom at noon. But it is currently looking like it's going to challenge that $400 mark. Pretty key price point for the NASDAQ 100. But let's transition to today. So some ups and downs and ups and downs. What about individual stocks? Well, there are some movers that I have been watching today. There are 3 that I traded that I wanted to share with you. I'm a day trader of stock options primarily. So when I get into one of these moves with this nice Z-band on, I'm looking at a 5-minute time scale as well as a 2-minute time scale. So I'm going to go ahead and bring over my 2-minute chart, and let's go over some of these stocks. This is a little bit bigger view. Let's go zoom out a little bit. We use 5-minute candles for this. Apple. Apple had a monstrous move this morning. Bull run up, and it has currently given back all of that. But at the time, it just looked like nothing was going to stop Apple. Some of the indicators that you have here with that green Z band, here's that 2-minute time scale. I mean, I was in and out a couple times on Apple. It was a really, really strong run. And for a guy like me, a trend trader of only a couple minutes, Apple was kicking off. And these indicators that I use, they're really simple to use. If you want to check them out, go to terrasoari.com, and you can see all the indicators at play. You can take a 7-day free trial with the simulator if you want. But Apple popping off, and it continues, if we just bring over the 60-minute chart, continues what we saw all of last week, which was up, 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 up. Lots of big, fat green candles on Apple here, and it has been growing from 150. Now it touched a high of 165 and some change. Call it 165. So Apple up and now down. Another big name stock out there that moves markets. Microsoft also had a really nice, strong run this morning. Not quite as strong as Apple's, but went up and touched an all-time high, new all-time high, but it petered out right at that resistance line D, RD, never made it to 350, but pretty close. Now it's back down to around 340 per share. So Microsoft, pretty powerful. This has also been kind of floating up. If you see, this Z-band has come on multiple days and throughout days for the 60-minute candles as well. So Microsoft's been trending up. Keep an eye on that. And then finally, another big tech stock, Nvidia. Man, it had a really strong trend up this morning. It also set its new all-time high. You can see the previous all-time high was here, right around 331, and it went up as far as 346 today before it just tumbled back down along with the NASDAQ there. These two have been attached to the hip, so if you're watching the NASDAQ, watch Nvidia. They seem to be moving in tandem. And I'll be watching Nvidia very closely, as well as its kind of little brother, AMD, another semiconductor stock, chip maker. So there's some pretty big name stocks that I made good profits on this morning, day trading. As far as what I'm getting into with stocks that are maybe not as well known, I'll give you a couple that I've been in. We can just go to the master list, and a couple of ones that have been moving that I just sold out of, actually. Ingersoll Rand. You can see here on these weekly candles, the green Z-band was just making it super simple to get in and out of this stock. Once it broke a new high, I got in there and out right there today. So it was in the 61 and some change. So it was a little bit off of that top when I cashed out. Let's see. And then the other stock was TEL. It's an electronics company. And similar entry, a little bit different setup. Each trend is unique, right? Each stock is unique. But here I got it when it crested above that 155, and I just sold out today at around 165. Just taking my modest profits. I am not really loving the market conditions overall, so I'd rather take the quick gains here in these environments, and then maybe when it's a stronger bullish environment, I'll let them run a little bit longer, a few weeks, a few months. But for now, I'm taking my profits and going merrily along my way. And that is kind of our mindset minute for this week. It's Thanksgiving, and we can get distracted if you celebrate Thanksgiving, if you know what that's about. It's coming this Thursday. We can get distracted by a lot of things going on around us. There's travel plans. There is a whole family dynamic, which I'm sure each of us could write our individual novels about how weird our family is, and how much they can occupy your mind, and how they have a special access to those buttons they can push on you. So if you're feeling stressed out, if you're feeling like you can't keep up, maybe this week is not the time to be the heaviest in trading. Yeah, there might be some moves, maybe, but it's a weird week schedule-wise. Sometimes the markets can be really choppy and really cyclical, as we saw today. And it can be very low volume too. So what normally would have moved maybe wouldn't move on a week like this. Add to that fact what's going on between your ears, possibly, if you're doing something for Thanksgiving that could be a distraction. And you don't need any one of these trades. You want the really premium trades or investments, whether that's stocks, options, or crypto, whatever you're trading, but you don't need any one of them. So sometimes it's lower risk if your mind is not right to just stay out of it and do some paper trading or do some mock trading in your notebook or in your trade log. If you want a simulator to practice on, like I said, Terrasoari has an awesome self-contained simulator where you can practice the same style that I do. It's really simple, but this Z-band is your golden ticket. It really does paint that risk picture so clearly that it's made trading a breeze for me. And yeah, check it out, Terrasoari.com. You can check it out and do your own due diligence. There's a 7-day free demo, free trial of that simulator. So I hope that helps. I'll do a quick lightning round on some stocks that I'll be watching this week. I already named a few of them, those FANG stocks. Particularly want to see what Meta/Facebook is going to be doing this week. I want to see if Apple and Microsoft continue their big growth patterns. They gave some back today. And then Amazon and Google were down today. Quick show you those charts. I don't know exactly why, but they were not staying in parallel with the QQQ, the NASDAQ, nor the SPY, until those big indexes caught up on the downturn later. So these guys were down off their highs to start the day, so maybe it's not too suspect, but Amazon now at the end of the day is closing at 29.25. I'm sorry, that's Google, 29.25. Amazon closing 35.70. So they're still way up there, but yeah, they gave something back. I want to see what happens with those guys. I want to see what happens with some of these electric vehicles. Check out Tesla, NIO, TSLA, NIO, and there's one that's kind of popping off right now, Lucid Group, LCID is their ticker. And finally, because it is Thanksgiving, I'm also going to be tuned in to see what happens with UAL, DAL, LUV, the big airlines. How are they going to manage this surge in traffic that we're going to get this Thanksgiving weekend here domestically in the U.S.? Will they be able to keep pace? Remains to be seen, but I can definitely see if they were to cancel a bunch of flights on some people that really just want to go home and chill with their family, that may cause some shiftiness in their stock price. So I will be watching them like a hawk, as well as those other EV stocks and FANG stocks, big tech, as I mentioned. So that's what I'm in it for. Whatever your trading process is, hey, take it one trade at a time. Use a trade log to get better. And remember, come from a place, a mindset of you're a professional. You're the CEO of your own trading business. The only two things you have to master are entries and exits. That's it. So keep working on those skills. And, sometimes the best trade is no trade. For the most part, I am staying out of it. 95% of the time that my butt is in this seat, I am not in an open position when I'm day trading. And probably about 95% of the stocks that I encounter, I say no to, because they are just, I don't care what the news says. And in fact, I don't watch news. I just watch the charts. So if you want to get a slice of that, you can check out Terrasoari.com. There's all kinds of mentoring and coaching. I do that myself. That's how I got started, and it works. So appreciate you guys. Whatever trading platform you're using, log those trades and grow one trade at a time. All right. I will see you next Monday at Vantage Point. It is at 2 p.m. Eastern, and join us through the Meetup group. Just go to Meetup and then search for stock and options or day trading stocks and options, and you'll find us. Sign up for that Meetup club, and then you can get into the Vantage Point. Bring your questions, bring tickers you want to check out. In the meantime, be safe this week. Happy Thanksgiving and happy trading. See ya.